They always sat on the toilet when using their phones. It was the highest spot in their home, and sometimes they could catch the neighbor's Wi-Fi signal from there. Whenever disinfectant was sprayed on the streets, they never closed their windows. That way, their home would get disinfected for free. Every time they ate, drunk men would urinate near their window, but they never dared to complain. When heavy rain came, their home flooded. They survived by folding pizza boxes for a bit of money. They lived in a damp basement, not because they were lazy, but because they had no other choice. They too longed to live like the rich. One day, the man's former classmate offered him a job as a tutor. The man had never been to college and worried he wouldn't be accepted, but his friend had already spoken to the client. Just in case, his sister forged a diploma from a prestigious university. Even their father tested how authentic the document looked. The next day, the man put on borrowed clothes and arrived at the wealthy family's house. The luxury of the home stunned him. He had never imagined the rich lived like that. Thanks to his acting skills and confidence, he made a good impression on the lady of the house. During the trial lesson, he noticed the little girl was very nervous. Luckily, he had experience handling important exams. With a calm voice and gentle touch, he managed to make her relax. The lady was impressed with his teaching style and hired him with a high salary. Suddenly, an arrow flew past. It was her son's doing. He was talented in art, but very mischievous. Several tutors had already given up on him. The lady was frustrated. The man quickly thought on his feet. He claimed to have a friend who had just returned from studying art abroad. The lady was delighted and immediately agreed. And that's how his sister became the boy's art teacher. As usual, the lady wanted to observe the first lesson, but the sister refused. When the lesson ended, the lady was shocked. Her son was so obedient. Even more surprising, the sister came well prepared. She had studied the boy's past traumas. She explained the meaning of his drawings and claimed she could not only teach art, but also heal his mind. The lady was moved to tears. At that moment, her husband came home from work. Since it was already late, he told the driver to take the sister home. What they didn't know was that the girl had already planned to replace the driver, so their father could get the job. Secretly, she tucked her underwear into the car when the driver wasn't looking. The next day, the master of the house found it. The driver was immediately fired, just as the girl had planned. In a casual conversation, she began recommending a replacement, none other than her own father. The father had prepared well. He even visited a car dealership to study what he needed to know. He knew when to mute the GPS voice when the boss wanted silence. Although no one said it was a test, the master of the house deliberately held a coffee cup the entire ride. In the end, their father got the job. Now, only their mother didn't have a position in the house, so they turned their attention to the housekeeper. But removing her wouldn't be easy. She was experienced, polite, and it seemed they would have to play dirty to get her out.